Good morning. Today is June 25th, 2025, and we're going to do a quick walk through the Muscadine Vineyard. So far this year, it's been really rainy up to this point, but now within the past week and a half, it's finally quit raining, and actually it's really hot now. So let's take a look at what we got. We added one more row this winter. I'll show that towards the end. You'll notice the lawn's really high. The ground is finally dry enough I can mow. I'm fixing to mow now, so ignore the ignore the weeds. Okay, this is a Carlos, and it is completely just filled out with grapes. My goodness, this is a 4th year Carlos, I believe. It's 3 years old, going into its 4th season. That's right. And it's filled out pretty well. I'm going to defend against varmints a lot better this summer than I did last summer. I was pretty busy last summer and didn't have a lot of time to. So a lot of the possums and coons did get what little fruit I did sell on my vines, but this year I'm fixing to start trapping for them. Okay, this is late fry. This is also a 3-year-old going into its 4th season late fry, and it looks really good. It's got it's got a really nice fruit set on it. Not too many that I had to thin them out, but not so little that, you know, it's a disappointing crop. It's really good. Now, a lot of the ones you're fixing to see, especially towards the upper part of the vineyard, are not as good looking as these are, predominantly because these are actually, the root balls elevated about a foot above everything else on these two. And that's predominantly why. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, this is a 2-year-old going into its 3rd year Triumph. And this one also set a pretty nice little crop of grapes. I'm not expecting a ton because it is only 2 years old, as you can see, but it has filled out its trellis. And there's a, good number of grapes in there. Not quite as vigorous as I would like it to be, but it's also it's only June. So we'll see. Okay, Ruby Crisp. I replaced the Ruby Crisp that was here because it basically died. And I replaced it with another Ruby Crisp from Bottoms, but it really just seems to want a bush. I can't hardly get any of these suckers to take off. It just keeps wanting to bush out. So I'm trying to get it to the wire if it will grow to the wire. Okay, 4th year Majesty, and I finally got some Majesties on here. And man, I tell you, even for only being June, this is touted as being the biggest Muscadine, or one of the very biggest ones. It's already very large, considering it's not even July yet. But Majesty is finally putting on some pretty good growth. Some Majesties in there, and it's headed down the wire. So it's still got a ways to go, but it's headed down the wire. We'll see. We'll hopefully do a taste test of Majesty later on. Darlene. Not a bad little fruit set, I will say. Darlene has trouble producing very well in a lot of different areas, but I have to say, it's got a pretty good little crop on it. Now this is a 4th year Darlene, and you can see the grapes in there. Not just a ton, but they're definitely in there. Same problem I'm having with a lot of the other ones. The vine vigor is just not as good as I'd like it to be. And I have been fertilizing per Ison's recommended schedule, so there's that. Southland, 3rd year Southland. I sure do wish it would grow. You can see it's set well, but you can see the tendrils just don't do anything. And you'll see that in a lot of my vines. And again, that's one reason I say this winter, I think part of the problem is my soil in this yard is pure solid clay. The entire yard is pure solid clay. Holds water extremely well. And even though this is not a low spot, what I'm going to be doing is digging the base of the plant up, putting like 2 or 3 feet high of topsoil on there, and making it like a 5 to 6 foot area. I'm going to be doing that to help out drainage this winter. I'm also going to be digging small trenches along sides of the vines to help get some of the water out, because it doesn't look bad right now, but when it's really rainy, it's pretty bad. Okay, this is Ison. filled its trellis out, and actually set a pretty good little crop of fruit. I did pull a few clusters off because you see all the fruit it set. I just don't feel like it has the vine vigor to support that. It's got the vine vigor, I think, to support what it has, but I really wish some of these side laterals would grow more. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Now here at the end of the wire, as you can see, it is trying to actively grow that way. So I don't know what that means in terms of having vine vigor or not having vine vigor, but anyway. Okay, second year Pam. I wish it would do something. It's I'm not saying its days are numbered, but it better start growing, because last year it was this tall when I bought it. It grew to right here the whole year last year, and then this year from here to a couple feet in each direction is all it's done. We'll see. Janet's still trying to fill its trellis out over here. It filled it out over there, but Janet looks pretty good. It did not bloom though this year, so I don't know what the deal is with that. Well, maybe we'll set some fruit next year. I hope so. Okay, let's go over here. This is I'm not sure what this is. I said in the previous video it was Dixieland. It's not. It bloomed a little bit this year and actually set some fruit, but the blossoms were female, and Dixieland is self-fertile, so it's not Dixieland. In fact, I'll just show you. It actually set me a cluster of fruit. So what I can tell you is the guy I got this from says he only has 3 bronze females, or 2 bronze females. So it's either going to be Fry or Summit. And if it's like my Summit taste and looks like my Summit, then, we'll know what it is. If it doesn't, if it tastes really good and it's bigger than, if it's fairly large size, it's probably Fry. But when I taste it and see it ripe, I'll be able to tell. It's pretty vigorous though. I have to say that. It's a pretty good, vigorous vine. So whatever it is, as long as it's got good quality and productive, we'll keep it. Okay, Early Fry. Early Fry still has not filled its trellis out yet, but it's working on it. It's not all that vigorous. Now, it's only its second year, so I can't be too demanding. And also, it did set me a couple fruit clusters, and that's probably slowing its growth down. But Early Fry is such a good variety, and it is trying to put on some new suckers. So we'll see what happens. If I see it start to struggle along, like you see some black rot here, if it starts struggling along, I'll remove those fruit clusters. I'd rather have a healthy vine than get to eat some fruit this year. Okay, Supreme. Now, interesting, for a vine that's known for not being a very vigorous vine, Supreme actually is doing pretty well considering all things. I'm still going to replant it in the winter, but it's actually doing pretty well. It's filled the trellis out, and it's growing pretty well. So I pulled probably half the fruit off this vine. It is it's really not even fully 2 years old yet. So if that tells you anything, it's 2 years old, going into its 3rd year, something like that. Was planted here in 2023, so you do the math. But I mean, it's doing pretty well. So some berries are already starting to get pretty good size to them. Okay, here's Noble. And Noble, this and Carlos, both of them, I put here for wine only, so I can make a couple gallons of wine every year. And I think it may have set just enough to get a gallon, or at least half a gallon of red wine. And we got this right here. I don't know what's going on there. Kind of dying away. I don't know. The tip. But we got a fair smattering of grapes set. So I'm going to keep, I got one more fertilizer application I'm going to hit it with. and then just make sure it stays well watered, which I rarely have to water in this soil. It just retains moisture so well. Lane, I thinned half the fruit off the vine it's set because, as you can see, it just does not have the leaves to support too much more fruit than what it has on it. So, with all that said, we're going to keep an eye on it. If I start to see too much yellowing, I mean, it is putting out suckers and growing. I will give it that. But if it starts yellowing or acting like it's stressed, I'm probably going to pull some more off because I don't want to lose this vine. Hull looks terrible. For a vine that's 3 years old going into its 4th year, it looks terrible. A lot of yellowing on the leaves. I pulled half of its crop off because, I mean, look at it. So, anyway, this is one that's on the very top of my list to get replanted this winter because this spot, this one area right here, I know does tend to hold water a little bit longer than the rest. So, anyway, here's Sugargate. Sugargate set very well. I mean, it set well last year, but check this out. So far, Sugargate has really put a good crop on this year. It seems to be known for being a low producer in many, many places. I don't know what I did right to get this thing to produce well. I really don't. I wish I knew. It's surrounded by pollinators and planted in clay soil. That's all I can tell you. So anyway, and except for the leaves looking terrible on this side of the plant, you see how terrible those leaves look? Very light yellow. And I'm giving it Epsom. I'm giving everything out here Epsom salts too. So I don't know. Okay, Black Beauty. Black Beauty looks horrible. It set a little fruit, as you can see, but I don't know that it's going to survive the summer because it looks terrible. I don't know. We'll see. I may replace it next year. I don't know. Okay, Summit. Summit set for the first time this year, but it set very well. As you can see, there is a lot of fruit in there. Set very well. So we'll be trying this. We'll be trying these fruits. All right, and Polk. You know, I have to say, Polk, for a vine that's been told it can overcrop, Polk has actually done a good job this year and last of setting a good crop without setting too much of a crop for me. I mean, it set a good amount of berries, but it just didn't overcrop. And so far for me, except for a lot of these side laterals, of course, it's only a 3-year-old vine going into its 4th year. Over time it'll get better. So, but pretty good so far. And it's actively growing in some places. Okay, so here's the row I added. Okay, this is Fry. I wish it would grow. It's just kind of sat here ever since I planted it. I've been fertilizing and watering it. And you can see all those Polk berries from this side too. Quite a few. Okay, this is Granny Val. Quality of this one is not of the greatest, but it's also the latest. Large size fresh fruit Muscadine. So if I can extend my season a little later than late Fry, that's what we're going to try and do. Okay, this is Black Fry. This is one I have to say, I tasted it for the first time last year in Tifton, Georgia at the biannual Muscadine Growers Meetup in Tifton. And I have to say, I'm really surprised it's not more widely planted. I really liked it. To me, it was very sweet. Okay, these last two were gifts from another Muscadine grower in the group. This one is Fairer. Pretty old variety. It's a large-ish size female. And the quality on it supposedly is really good. It's a lot like Black Fry. So it was a free gift, so we're going to try it. And then this one down here is one I tried last year too. This one's called Rosa. And I have to say, this one was really interested me. The quality and it was different. It had a very different texture than what I'm used to on muscadines. It was soft but firm, and it was very football shaped. I mean, some of these muscadines out here are oblong, like Sugargate Nyson, kind of football shape. This was shaped like a football. So anyway, I planted it. It's about reached the wire. And this is one space I still have open, which we will probably be filling this winter. So anyways, that's all the muscadines. Just like I say, a lot of disease and leaf yellowing and poor looking vines due to poor drainage and frequent rainfall we had the past few months. I will be dealing with that this winter, because if I want these vines to produce the fruit that I'm really hoping for, then I'm probably gonna have to do something about this drainage. So even my blueberries, I had to raise them up because they just were not. In fact, you can't see them, but all my fruit trees over there, they had to be elevated. Otherwise, they just died off. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. I may do some more videos whenever the fruit starts coming off. So until then, y'all have a good day.